All right, welcome back. Welcome back. My name's Eddie. We have a special guest today. His name is Ryan. Ryan, introduce yourself.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Ryan.
That was Ryan. Ryan and I go kind of far back. We met in high school. I met you in Blade's class, I think.
Hey, yeah, Mr. Blade.
Was that
think that
junior
was-
year?
Was it junior year?
It was.
I think that's when we started talking, but I knew you
Yeah.
earlier, I think in our English class.
What class was that?
You know, with the monotone dude?
Oh no, I was talking about U.S. history. Because we had
Yeah.
U.S. history with Blade, and then we had him again for government
Yeah.
senior year. Yeah,
Blade was a good meme.
he was a really good man. So have you been?
I've been good. You know, we were talking about it. We both just had a big breakup.
That is
But
true.
sounds like we're both doing well right now.
I'm here.
Hey.
We're here at school
We out here, dog.
during the summer.
Yeah.
Doing good. All right, so should we go to our first topic?
Hey, let's do it.
All right, so our first topic, it's summertime. A lot of blockbuster and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Feel me?
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about movies that we've recently seen. Have you seen any movies recently?
Yeah, I saw Toy Story, Godzilla, and this little film called Your Name.
Oh, okay.
That one's
Okay.
a good one.
All right, tell me about that one.
So it's basically this anime movie, and it's this guy and this girl from Japan. They're like different sides of Japan, and they keep on switching bodies. You know, it's a little Freaky Friday. You know.
Oh, I've done that before.
Oh yeah. And the dude, he's kind of a pervert, you know. So he always touches his boobs when he turns into the girl. It's just like, okay, wait. But yo, it's a good romance, you know. Sometimes you need them feels.
How was Godzilla? I haven't had a chance to see that or Toy Story.
Honestly, I'd give it like a solid 7. Like the dialogue and everything, that was a 3. It was bad, dude. Oh my god. Like it'd just be like, oh my gosh, Godzilla is going into the underground Hollow Earth. It's like, what? Where are you going with this?
What's that one chick? Billy.
The one from Stranger Things?
Yeah, it seems like they're really pushing her in the advertising.
Yeah.
She
She was like kind of prominent. I mean, like,
seems kind of unnecessary, to be honest.
kind of. I mean, honestly, the movie, I've never been in a movie where it's just so much like, what is happening? You know? Like, honestly, they could have cut out the entire human element and I would have been okay and probably liked it just as much.
That's what I was kind of. That's the kind of vibe that I got from the trailers and shit. Like Billy, I don't know what her name is, but that chick from Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Every single shot that she had was just her on the floor, wet from the rain, gasping, or like smiling. And it's like, what relevance does this child have if the government can't do anything about it? That's
Yeah.
what I feel like. That's the vibe that I got.
Yeah.
I feel like they just got her in so they can sell more seats, but
Yeah. That's what's funny about the whole movie. It's just like these entire government bodies are trying to stop Godzilla, and then you got like one dude who's like, I don't even know. He's like a doctor or something, and he's like, oh, but did you try doing this? And it's like, oh, what? Now we solved the movie. It's like, what?
I just saw Aladdin not too long ago, and that movie is near and dear to my heart because you know how I used to do theater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did theater.
Back when I was in a cult,
Which was theater.
which was theater. I actually did the show Aladdin, like a junior version of it
Oh yeah.
back in like 8th grade summer, so right before freshman year.
That's cool.
And I met a lot of good friends, 2 close friends of mine, Aubrey and Maddie. Eventually, Maddie had lived in Vegas,
Whoa.
and she does live in Vegas. The only reason she was out here is because she would spend the summers with her grandparents who lived out here.
Oh cool.
Yeah. And Aubrey did live. She also lived here, but then she ended up moving over to Georgia the next year.
Yeah.
And like about a month ago, it was like the first time we had all hung out together again since she had moved to Georgia, because Maddie had been coming over here pretty often. since she was only in Vegas. And
Yeah.
like you start to drive, you know, you have more like freedom, blah blah blah. And she had a place to stay here as well. But yeah, it was really fun because we all got to see it. We all enjoyed it. It was like, because that's like how we all met, you know.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed the performances, like the genie.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You think you lived up to the expectations?
I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like everybody was like, it was kind of split. I feel like half of the people were expecting really bad like Robin Williams impersonation, and then half of the people were just like, he's just gonna like Bel Air that shit. Kind of did both. Like it, like even like it didn't seem, you wouldn't think it would work, but like he was like a hip kind of genie, sort of.
Yeah.
But he did have a little bit of that like 90s like humor in it, so it worked. I
Okay.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Aladdin, I don't feel like it was a good Aladdin, to be honest.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was really bland.
I hear a lot of people like Jasmine though.
Yeah, she was cool.
She was cool.
They added in this random ass song that had never been in the movie before, so it was
Was it good,
really
though?
it was like, it was like a really like melodramatic like show tune, more than like a 90s like Disney song, you know. So it was like, it felt forced. Like, of course it was like in the same key as everything to try to like make it fit, but you can tell that it was something new trying to like fit in with something old. So it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't work for me. They try to push her a lot more as like a strong female character and everything. That's super cool because that's kind of what she is. And like, given the time that the first one came out, like there wasn't really like a calling for that yet. So, but I like what they did with her. She was pretty cool. She's kind of cute, to be honest. But there was like backlash. There's backlash that she wasn't, that they got like a Middle Eastern guy to play Aladdin, but they didn't get a Middle Eastern girl to play Jasmine.
Or she?
Oh, I think she's just Caucasian.
Oh really? She's white?
They just like, I think they just like did some makeup and made her look darker.
Is that blackface?
It's like tan face.
Tan
I don't know.
face.
But
It's like the Kardashians. They're always in tan face. Or Trump.
my lord, yeah, but he's not trying to be anything.
Hey, he's his own race. He's orange.
Superior race.
Oh god.
Superior race. But yeah, and then I haven't seen Toy Story yet, so don't spoil it for me.
Oh no, I won't.
But how do you feel about Toy Story 4?
Toy Story 4. I think it did a lot of things right, you know? Like, it wasn't like life-ending stuff like the last one, where it's like, oh no, we're all gonna die.
Dun dun.
Dun dun. It was more like, you know, when I think about it, it was kind of like this, right? The first one and the second one were kind of all around like, you know, just exploring a normal world as a toy, you know, from the toy's perspective.
Yeah.
And their main goal throughout these movies is like making sure that their kid, you know, is happy, you know. And I think they really follow up with that. And I think it's really good, you know. It's like, how do I say it? It's just really grounded in reality, you know? And there's a lot of wholesome moments where it's just like, oh, that's pretty cute, you know? But you see a lot of like reflections of today's like politics and just like culture, you know?
Yeah, as you do with all these movies.
Yeah, like, so just like in Aladdin, you see characters trying to be like strong female role models.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm pretty into that, honestly. Just because
same.
it's like, you don't see that often. I mean, now you do, but I think they do it really well. And I was talking to my sister before I got here. She was telling me how one of her coworkers was saying how it's like a blending of culture. I didn't see that in the movie when I was watching it, but thinking back, there's a lot of that, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, hey, we have different, we come from different backgrounds, but like, you know, we could still be like together, you know?
Oh, like the different types of toys and like
Yeah,
the
different
Ford
toys.
character and all that.
Oh yeah, that was a good meme.
Okay.
He's just like, I'm trash. He's like, but I'm content with that.
Oh, so were you referring to Bo Peep?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to say it just in case, like, that's like a mild spoiler.
I mean, they kind of show it in
Do they?
the trailers, yeah.
I like don't watch trailers.
Oh, okay. That's all I watch, because sometimes I'll just like, there will be films, because you know how like there's discontent with like a lot of like major franchises that are like trying to reboot and everything.
Yeah.
Like Hellboy and I heard Dark Phoenix sucked really bad.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And like these are movies that like have your slight interest just because of the title.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really want to see them because you're hearing everything bad about them. So what I'll do to try to get like the most out of it is I'll watch like all the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll watch like an Easter egg video on the trailers, like, oh, this is how it connects to everything else that you do like. And then I'll listen in on like a podcast that'll talk about how shitty it was with spoilers. And then I'm like, all right, well, I got the experience. I didn't have to spend any money for that.
Hey, that's good. That's a good train of thought. Movie that I really liked that, you know, wasn't like liked by anyone was Venom.
I kind of liked it too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, so when it comes to these like comic book movies or like just like nerdom in general, everybody has this like high expectation because we love these franchises so much. And then I'm sure you've heard the narrative where like people who are more casual about it, they're like, oh, you're just crybaby fanboys. And it's like, yeah, but we've already invested so much time into this. We kind of want something to like pay off.
Yeah.
I feel like Venom was like a guilty pleasure movie because we knew that it wasn't as good as like what Marvel's doing, but it was still fun to watch.
That's true. I think it was just like I thought it was really cool, you know. And I personally have like a really deep connection with Venom for some reason. You know, like I grew up loving Spider-Man, but then you know Spider-Man 3, as bad as it was, it came in with Venom, and I was like, hey, wait, shit, what? There's a Venom? What's a Venom? And then I started like looking into it as time went on. Like I just bought 2 Venom books, right?
Nice.
And it's from the recent run, and it's really cool.
Oh, okay.
And like Venom has a really interesting story because in a way, Venom is all about relationships and like domestic abuse and all that.
Oh.
And like it talks about that, you know, like spoilers, but in one of the comics, it starts talking about how Venom is like manipulating Eddie Brock in order to keep him with him, you know? Like, he's making him think he has cancer, and he's making him think...
Oh, he doesn't have cancer?
No, he never had cancer. He never had cancer.
Oh, and he made him think that, so he...
Yeah. So it's all manipulation, you know? But what's really interesting is the book resolves with Venom realizing his ways and detaching from him by his own accord.
Oh, okay.
You know? It's really interesting because it's like... You know, when you think of Venom, you think of this badass dude who's eating heads and everything, and that's definitely the character.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a very clear like subtext to the whole like character.
So is it kind of like not a ploy, but like what's it called? Like I don't want to say lack for a better term, like interpretation of like abusive relationships. Then
I definitely think so.
Okay.
Know? And you see that in the Venom movie too. You know, like. They kind of act like a married couple or something, you know?
Oh, because you're constantly, like, arguing and shit?
They're bickering and shit.
Oh, okay. You kind of get a little bit of that in the film.
A little bit.
Do you think like, the comics translated well over to, the film? Because I haven't read any of the comics. I've only seen
It's a complete departure from the comics. But I don't really care about that, you know? Like, because, you know, Venom came from space... secretly attached to Deadpool, then to Spider-Man, and then to Eddie Brock.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how they're the one topic that I would hear a lot of people talking about prior to the film coming out was how are you gonna have a Venom movie without Spider-Man?
I think they did okay.
They did good, yeah, but it's like if you compare it to Spider-Man 3 with what's his name, Topher Grace.
Oh, yeah.
Your Topher Grace Venom.
Freaking that 70 Shows kid. Oh, my God. Freaking Eric, that's his name.
Yeah, Eric Foreman.
I can't believe Eric Foreman was freaking Venom, dude.
He didn't deserve Donna for shit, dude. Donna was too good for him. Have you seen the show or no?
Dude, I watched the whole thing. I
really?
hated the last season.
I only watched up until like they started dating and he was like a dick to her, and then I just got turned off by it.
You know, we're gonna go away from this for a second, but like there's an episode, right?
Yeah.
In that '70s show, and Donna's like pissed at Eric for some reason. I think, you know what? I've been thinking about this. You know, I've been writing it out. I have it charted in my room. I think in that episode, Eric made the big bad move, and he went in for the wrong hole, dog. You see? Because she's like, how could he do that? You know, how could he do that? How do you think that's okay? And they never say exactly what it is. I'm like, I think it's anal, dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, is that implied?
I think it's kind of implied. He's like, how would you think that's okay? And I'm like, let's see. What were they doing? They were having sex. Okay. So what could go wrong when you're having sex? I'm like, I feel like there's not that much. And I start thinking about it. I'm like, dude, he did it without even asking. This fool. Freaking Eric.
He just thought it was okay. Where were we?
Venom.
Yeah, that was a good interpretation. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like that it happened, but...
But on superhero movies and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
what I hate to hear is that people say it's not, true to the comics. You know? That's like my worst, pet peeve.
Okay.
Because... if you look at the comics, there's shit happening everywhere, dog. There's no cohesive story.
There's no consistency.
Everything's being retconned constantly.
Yeah.
But what's more interesting is that with, DC and Marvel, they have, different universes, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you have, the Ultimate Universe in Marvel, and there's, a whole different story. Like, Peter Parker's dead in that, dog. And that's, now that universe is just, destroyed because of some big, Marvel ending calamity that happened.
What was that? Was that
I forget what it's called, but it's all the multiverses started colliding,
Oh.
Yeah. And now there's only one, I think, or something, And that's why we have Miles Morales in the regular universe.
Okay.
Yeah. But my point being, people say there's no, well, how do I say it? People say that, a movie's not true to the comics, but you look at, the MCU, there's a lot of big differences. So I think what people should do, instead of, be it should be like the comics, what I like to do is I like to look at it it's a completely different, it's in a different, artistic interpretation,
Oh,
and
okay.
you can, register that as, it's a different universe. I mean, I think it is.
Yeah.
It literally is in the comics, I think.
Uh-huh.
Even the Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah, great game.
That was a good game.
Fucking awesome game.
Yeah, but that's actually a universe.
Oh, is that its own universe?
Yeah, and it was actually in one of the recent Spider-Man comics. That Spider-Man.
Huh.
Yeah, you see. So if you ever see these boys out here it's not true to the comics, it's boy, it's a different universe, hey.
For real, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, that game. Okay. I kind of want to talk about this game.
Yeah, let's talk about this game, man.
I'm assuming you have a PS4 because you
Oh
played
yeah.
it. How long did it take you to beat this game? I'm just curious.
30 hours or something.
Okay, so how many days would that be for you? Was it consecutively?
Like
a week
or
right?
two.
Isn't that kind of rare to get a game nowadays that'll last you that long?
Yeah, it's rare.
And it's I feel like that was something in the early 2000s that was really prominent, but developers really dropped the ball on story these days. I was surprised to see that Spider-Man PS4 had such a cohesive, captivating story.
Yeah.
That shit was so cool. I was talking to my friends the other day and I was like, dude, everyone's talking about, who's a better Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, fucking whoever played Sasuke, the guy who voiced Sasuke.
Oh, is it Sasuke?
Voiced Peter.
Yeah.
in the PS4.
He was definitely my favorite performance.
He's fucking Peter.
He's Peter.
Dude. And it's everything that that your mind perceives of Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
he embodied in that in PS4.
I think this is the first time we've ever had a completely I would say a 10 out of 10 like Spider-Man game, you know?
Yes.
People love like what is it, Spider-Man 2 because of the web slinging. It's like so perfect in that game apparently. But like this, you got the web slinging, you got the story, you got the characters,
Got the fighting mechanics.
the
as well.
fighting mechanics. Like I like it way more than, you know, the Batman games, honestly.
Oh, like the Arkham Asylum and
I
stuff?
got that. I got it for like $100 on a Humble Bundle, you
Uh-huh.
know? And it, you know, it was Arkham Origins, I think.
Okay.
Or something. It's one of those, and it's like one of the worst ones apparently. But like, I can't finish that game, but I finished Spider-Man like instantly, dude.
I don't know. Yeah, like it's funny that you mentioned the Spider-Man too, because that was like my shit. Like that was my game for so long. Like fucking
Yeah.
pizza time.
Pizza time.
Pizza time. But I think they use that game as a reference as well. If you look at any other Spider-Man game aside from Spider-Man 2 back then and then PS4, those web swinging mechanics suck
Yeah.
a whole lot.
Yeah.
No, but when I first started playing PS4 Spider-Man, I got it way late because I just didn't want to spend the money for it. I ended up getting like all the DLC and the base game for like $40 because it was
Whoa.
like, yeah. So I was super hyped on that. But because I think Sony had like one of those like PS4 deals going on.
Oh, okay.
They're super generous with that. Like honestly, they like give away so many games too. Like if you have PSN, or if you have PlayStation Plus, you can every month they come out with like free games that you can just download.
Yeah, yeah.
But aside from that, when I first started playing it, I was like, dude, like I got flashbacks like instantly, like just like swinging. There's like this one thing that I I have a complaint about, but it's the only thing I complain about in this game.
Yeah.
So in not PS2, in Spider-Man 2, let's say you're swinging, but you're swinging horizontally around the corner of a building. So what that game would do is that once your web hit the corner of the building, that's where your point of reference would be for swinging. Let's say your web's here, like on the center of the wall. You swing around, and once your web hit here, you'd only swing from here. Does that make sense? So like your web gets shortened on the corner, and I used to think that felt so good because since there's a shorter range of motion, it would shoot you even further, and then you can just like let go of the web and like fucking fly.
I get what you're saying.
But
So for our listeners,
Uh-huh.
I think what we're trying to say is that like if you attach to one part of the building and the web hits another part, then you're gonna go flying. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that for PS4.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I think though my favorite part of the game was his relationship with MJ
Yes.
because it was just so real.
It was honest.
Yeah, it wasn't, you know, lovey-dovey. Well, it was kind of there was like romantic tension, but it wasn't like she wasn't a one-note character. She was really three-dimensional.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that she's a reporter. You know, I think she does kind of like better that way rather than just like the stereotypical like, you know, damsels in distress or whatever.
Seriously, yeah, and she wanted to fucking do shit.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
She was out there. She was like, they were a team.
Yeah.
That's what I liked the most, that they were a team. And he was kind of like skeptical at first, but then he's like, all right, yeah, fuck it, like you do you. And I like that too, because that also like is a callback to like relationships where it could have gone completely south at that point, which a lot of relationships do. But since Spider-Man's just such a good guy.
Yeah. Can we talk spoilers?
Of Spider-Man PS4?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been long enough. Yeah, I'll take for it.
You know the saddest part? You know it, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Aunt May.
You know it.
Oh,
That's it.
Shit. That I felt like.
I fucking cried, dude.
Yeah.
I cried. You know, like, ooh, because they've never killed off Aunt May in like films. You know, and it's just like, oh, they did it. They really did it.
They did.
I was like, man, how's he gonna do this? Wait, he's not.
Oh.
Oh, dude. And then, okay, so there's a secret spot in the game where you could find Uncle Ben's grave.
What?
After you find it, after you finish the story, Aunt May's grave is there.
No.
And once I saw that,
That's creepy.
I just started like, I got emotional. I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, it's real. It's real.
Dude.
Yeah.
The attention to detail.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that? I just saw something about that. There's an Easter egg in it. And what it is on Sundays, there's no Jewish people are out.
What?
Yeah, and that's because, like they got like, what is it, temple? It's really interesting, I didn't even know about that.
I didn't even know they had like they differentiated people like that.
No, like it's like what is it? They got the beard.
So they make it like kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like man, I don't even remember what they're called, but they're very like obviously Jewish,
Okay.
I'm not saying like,
Like,
in a racist way. I'm just saying like, they have like the customs.
Yeah, they wear what they do.
Yeah.
Okay. So like does the game I'm assuming then the game like on actual Sundays or like Sundays in the game?
No, actual Sundays.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just like they put weird details, but you know what? I love that. I love that in games.
Did it kind of bug you how the streets and the cars looked? They looked really weird.
Did they?
Yeah, like the streets were only one way.
I think in New York and a lot of cities there actually are a lot of one-way streets.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I went to San Francisco like last year, and it's like it's a pain to drive in, dude. It's like one-way streets on like every other street,
Oh.
Like that's real,
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe it's just because we're in California.
Yeah.
But that's so strange. I was like, what's up with this? This game's so whack. Blah, blah, one-way streets. But, I mean, like, you would think that with everything else they've been doing, they would get the streets right. But I guess they did. I don't know.
Yeah.
To go back to the Aunt May scene.
Yeah.
I feel like, because you know how when Homecoming came out and there was that one scene where Peter was like stuck under that like big rig or whatever and he had to like push it off and that was like a callback to a comic.
Yeah.
It felt like that one scene with Aunt May. Like I don't think it was from a comic.
Mm-hmm.
Like Aunt May, like him having to decide like who if he wants to save everyone else or just Aunt May with the serum. Because for our listeners, I guess like. Should I spoil it for people who don't know?
Well, yeah, you said that she's dead.
Well, she's dead.
That's a huge spoiler already.
So there's like a virus that gets spread by Mr. Negative, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so Aunt May caught it because she was helping. She's helping out at a homeless shelter.
Oh wait, it was Doc Ock.
Oh, it was Doc Ock who
Yeah,
spread it? Okay. My bad. They were in alliance though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so she caught it and she was on her deathbed and he had the serum, but they were gonna replicate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he only had like a small portion of the serum and it was the only one that existed, and he was stuck with a choice: either save Aunt May with the serum that he had in his hands, or to save the serum and replicate it for everybody else. But it was like a do or die moment.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the turmoil in him. Like even just like listening to him, like it was crazy, like seeing how confused and how distraught and how conflicted he was.
It's like, do you go with your beliefs or do you go with your emotions?
Mm-hmm. Because that was like that moment,
Mm-hmm.
he really did like have to practice what he preached.
Yeah.
And that was not like, I know it's just a video game and anything, but like I'm sure there's people who've had like similar situations,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not easy. And that moment felt like it was like torn out of a comic. Like it was just such a it was like so tropey,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't. I don't know.
I think what's impressive about like tropes is when a source of media can take a trope and make it their own. You know?
Yeah.
I think that really stands out, And I don't really keep up with many tropes. Like there's a lot of tropes. Like I play D&D, and people are always trying to avoid tropes, but like, I'm oblivious to everything. So when I write like a campaign or something, I just cram it all in there, all the tropes without even knowing, you know.
That's funny. And that's Dungeons and Dragons? Or?
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons.
So, like, tell me a little bit about that, because I'm not really...
Ooh, Dungeons and Dragons, dude. This is great. And, there's a big resurgence right now. People like to credit Stranger Things, but, like, what's really big right now is this like podcast, Critical Role.
Okay.
And it's a live D&D game they have every week on Thursdays, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And people just fall in love with the characters, and like the storytelling, because that's the real appeal of Dungeons and Dragons, is cooperative storytelling.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's literally all improv,
Mm-hmm.
like you get stats and sheets and everything, and that's cool, right? Like I love playing as like a character and like fighting boys or something. But what's more like fun for me is the role playing,
Okay.
Because like, for instance, right now I'm playing as this human warlock dude. He's like pure evil, but he's evil in the way that he's manipulative.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, he's the kind of guy. Like recently in my last game, some old man was like telling off my adventuring crew, and so I followed him down an alley. Right. I casted this spell that made it completely dark so that no one can see, except for me. And I killed the dude, Yeah, I just murked him, man. And, time went by, like a couple of minutes, and like his son that was with him was just like crying, he's like, I'm going to kill this guy. And so my guy walks in like nothing happened. He's like, oh my God, what happened? Are you okay? Like how, I don't know who did this, but whoever it is, I'm gonna find him and I'm gonna kill him, knowing that I'm the one who killed him.
Oh shit! Wait, is this a board game? Is it online?
No, it's a tabletop game, right?
Okay.
And you can either play it on a sheet, like a board, or you could play it like theater of the mind.
Oh,
does that make sense?
Sick. That's really innovative.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming this game's been out for a while, right?
Oh, dude, it's been out since like what, 80s?
Holy shit.
They play it in Stranger Things.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Cause it's not. I feel like it's like a household name that like everybody knows, like has heard of it, but like I didn't really know what it was until you explained it.
You like talk to anyone and they're like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. I kind of want to try that one day. Like I hear like so many people say that,
So it's kind of like a game and like a template for like improvisational theater then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and I'm starting a new game Sunday with some friends.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah, man.
Have you heard of a YouTuber named The Chord Ring?
No, who's that?
He's this one guy that I watch a lot. He like reports on like video games and movies and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's a nice dude. Talks about, he's really big on like consumer advocacy.
Okay.
So like he'll call out like the big corporations and shit.
Oh yeah.
Just to look out for like the guys who don't really know like what's going on. But I think he got fucking like banned from like D&D.
What?
Yeah, for like I forgot what it was. I listened to all the videos and I had no idea like what was going on. I just listened to the situation and I was like, he doesn't seem like he's in the wrong here, so I don't know, but
maybe it was like Adventurers League or something, or just
like a
specific club. Yeah. Because like, you can't get banned from D&D.
No, yeah.
Yeah, D&D is really cool, but it's just like, overall, it's just a place to hang out with friends, with people you don't usually hang out with.
Yeah.
I had this one group. I was the DM for it, and I had to quit it because they were really like, how do I say it? They were not good people, Like sometimes you just gotta quit it because no matter what you're doing, even if it's just playing like games, you gotta recognize those toxic relationships,
Oh, okay.
And they were really toxic, I'm pretty accepting as a person,
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care like what gender you identify as, or what your sexuality is. Like, if we can have fun and be friends, like I'm cool,
Yeah.
These people hated straight people. Yeah. Like, and
as one does.
and it's just like, it's hard to be in that group when you know that you as a person will never be truly accepted because of things you can't accept. And I think it's really interesting. I see that a lot of days, because you see, I don't, I'm not out here trying to be like, we should have more rights for straight people. It's just like, I think people should recognize when their tolerance becomes like intolerance. Does that make sense? Like, because it's like the people who are most like that are like the people who preach for equality with men, women, trans people,
Yeah.
and like gay people.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I definitely agree with that. But then they'll turn around and they'll be like, but straight people are evil.
Oh, I see. Because okay. Yeah, so they start to, it's like hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they're generalizing. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And, some people like to hide behind the fact that, like, people like to say, like, you can't be racist to white people, and you can't be like intolerant to straight people or something like that. It's like, I'm all of those things. I'm a straight white dude, and it's like, I'm like the epitome of what they dislike.
But that doesn't characterize who you are as a person, though.
Exactly. But for them, it did.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, but I had to cut them out, You got to cut out those people in your life, man. Dude, I knew it. Transitioned.
Was that the segue?
Yeah, that was a segue.
Okay, I thought it was. All right. Do you want me to start off? Or do you?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. Like, me personally, people who know who I am, they kind of see me, I mean, like, from what I've heard, from what they've told me, they think I'm too nice,
Really?
Yeah, so it's like, I'll find, and I fall really hard for people when I do. So what we're kind of getting at right now is like our past relationships, just so if that isn't clear. But what were we saying before the podcast? Because we had something really good to say.
Well, we watched the video.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen this, you gotta watch it. It's from this YouTuber. Her name's Jaden Animations, right? And she has a video about relationships, and it's really good. I think so, at least. Did you?
Yeah, I mean, like, when you aren't pre-exposed to like these types of situations and relationships, it's definitely eye-opening.
Yeah.
But since like, I feel like we're pretty aware of like what goes on and like other people, like, like what can happen.
Yeah.
So some of the topics we already kind of like were aware of, but like she explained it really, really simply.
And what the video is all about is like, abusive relationships and manipulation in general, and she was just talking about how, like, how do I say it? Little things you don't think about are like kind of manipulative, and it can really hurt relationships. And, she talked about them, like, for instance, isolating the other person, so that they can only trust you. That was one of the things she talked about. And then the moral of the story is that you're not responsible for other people,
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest takeaway that you could take away from it.
Yeah, and like, I'll be honest, like, I've found myself in the position where I try to like pull whoever my like girlfriend is at the time away from like her friends, just because, but due to my own lack of self-confidence.
Yeah.
If a guy gets jealous, or if a girl gets jealous, like, and like this can go both ways. It shows lack of self-confidence, right?
Yeah. Because
you're afraid. You're not confident enough in yourself to be able to keep the person that you're with. But like, after, and I feel like that's like one of the few things that I did wrong, and I did do a handful of things wrong. But one weird thing, like, after I got out of that relationship, that was literally like the week before. No, not the week before. Maybe a few weeks before, like, I went to go see Aladdin with my friends, right? And I hadn't seen my friend Aubrey since I started that relationship, right? So, like, she just noticed that I was acting weird, like, as in comparison to how she left, to when she left California to go to Georgia. And I had already like been out of the relationship for a little bit. I started realizing the same thing. I'm like, dude, like I'm such a shell of a person that I was beforehand. And like, of course, I've like gained a little bit of things here, I've gained a little bit of that. Like I've started going to the gym. I'm learning more about history, this and that. I'm overall becoming a better person. But like how I perceived myself in public was a shell of who I used to be, because I used to do theater. I was really outgoing, this and that. And now, like, leaving that relationship, I found myself to be this incredibly shy, like, unconfident guy who didn't have the courage to talk to anybody new. Like, had I had the idea but like had to make this podcast while I was in the relationship, but had I like tried to start it, I probably wouldn't have hit up anybody to like want to do it with.
Wouldn't just been you.
Yeah, it would have just been me, and I probably wouldn't even have put it out there that much.
Yeah, dude.
You know? And
Yeah.
like I didn't even start it in the relationship, and that I think that says enough. But it's crazy. Like you really got to look out for yourself, because I stopped playing piano often. I stopped singing. I stopped doing theater. That was my own choice, because I just didn't like theater anymore. But like it's just like these little things that you gotta watch out for.
I think sometimes you just get so invested in a relationship that you lose sight of yourself and what you enjoy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I just ended a relationship too, and, you know, that relationship was actually really healthy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we both understood each other, you know? You know, there's always going to be some problems, but, like,
Yeah.
we were both able to talk to our own friends and be comfortable with that, you know? And just because of happenstance, we had to end it off, but I think the biggest takeaway from that was that, you know, what am I trying to say? The biggest takeaway from that is that, you know, you got to be comfortable having some space, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like right now, like I'm actually getting a lot of confidence, because I'm hitting up people that I used to talk to that I don't anymore, and it's just like it's crazy how just talking to people can just raise your confidence.
Seriously.
And working out.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like it's these super small, and I think that's the problem that a lot of people face when they self-diagnose themselves with depression and anxiety, which is, I feel like, it's a really big problem, like in itself. But they always look for the drastic changes to better themselves. Like they always expect drastic changes to drastically change their life, and to respect that is true. Like, but people always think like, all right, okay, just because I laid down how many dollars for a gym membership, and just because I started buying clothes that I really like, and just because I like got this haircut or whatever it be, they think that's gonna help, and like it will to an extent. Of course, it'll lift your spirits for that moment, but it's really more in the mentality and the way that you approach things that'll help you get out of that. And like, and small things like just talking and speaking out, reaching out to people that you used to talk to.
Yeah.
Being consistent with going to the gym. Like getting back into things that you used to really like that you really had no reason to like let go of.
Yeah.
Those are the things that'll help you.
Yeah.
Those are the things that are gonna make you into a better version of yourself, because now you have all this life experience from where you left off, when you left off those things that made you happy. But now that you're gonna add those things back into your life, it's gonna be even that much more fulfilling than when it was when you left those things behind, when you were actually doing those things before, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
But what was I gonna say? Do you have anything?
Yeah, you know, like I spent like 2 years alone, you know, like without any friends before I got into my most recent relationship, you know, and I think as like sad and hard as that was, like I think it really helped me develop who I am as a person.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, like a lot of my friends, they go from relationship to relationship, you know. And like, you know, I'll support your friends through whatever they're doing, you know. But like I think when you start doing that, I think you got to reflect and see like why you're doing that in general, you know. Why are you alone not good enough, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's really important that you spend that time alone, so that, well, not alone, but not in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, so that you can figure out like, what do you like and what are your hobbies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, I'm finally getting back into art, you know, and everything.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Going hard on D&D, dog. But honestly, it was D&D that got me back into art, you know, drawing my characters and everything.
Yeah.
But like, you know, finding what you enjoy and who you are is really important. You know, and I always kind of meme around saying like I quote RuPaul kind of as a goof, but it's also kind of real, you know?
Okay.
Because they always say, you know, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anyone else, you know?
And that's something that you hear really often, too.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of truth behind it. You know, as cliche as it is, you know, like it's something that you really got to take into account while you're living, you know?
Because, I don't know, like, I never understood that. I'd always hear it through the entirety of the relationship that I was just in. And I never understood it. Like, it just didn't click for me until we split. And then it made sense because, like, me, myself, like, my end goal is to be a history teacher, to settle down.
You're going to be Blade.
I pretty much want to be Mr. Blade. But, like, a really, like, way chiller Blade.
And it sounds like you just want to be more cultured.
I just want to be a more cultured Blade, yeah, because, like, like, socially, I'm conservative.
Yeah.
Politically, I'm in the center. So, like, I see both sides. Whatever is most logical, whatever is most fair, I feel like is, like, the best way to go. And everybody says that, but, like, you know. But,
I know a lot of people who don't say that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, that D&D group, I cared about them, but, like, they were just very, like, conservatives are evil, you know? And I'm not saying that in, like, you know, conservatives the only way or liberals are evil, you know? Like, I think, you know, you should be talking to both, you know? But they were just, like... And then, like, I'm in the middle. I lean to the right a bit. Okay. But, like, as kind of to trigger them, I'm going to be honest, I was like, I mean, I'm conservative. And they were like, what? What did you just say? You know? And it's like... I don't actually identify really as conservative. Yeah. I'm very much in the middle. But, like, I do that a lot to trigger people, honestly.
Just to, like, yeah.
Just to shock them. Because it's like, I like you, but you're a conservative, so...
What now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, but... Where were we? Anyway, so, like... That's funny, though. That's really funny. I feel like... You remember. Junior year and senior year for me was like all politics. I was wearing that Bernie hat every other day.
Yeah, that was a good meme.
But
I never knew if it was real.
It was definitely real, I'll tell you that. I thought I was like an activist or some shit. I thought I was like speaking the truth, but I just let politics go, dude. I can't do it anymore.
Oh, me too, dude. Since 2016, I'm like, you know, I'm watching my boy Philip DeFranco and stuff, but like I zone out when people start talking about like politics on like news and stuff.
Everyone's a politician.
Yeah. Like I could definitely talk about it one-on-one.
Yeah.
But like once it starts getting into like genuine politics and not just like ideology, like I zone out. You know, like I feel like right now we're kind of having like a conversation about like ideology and like just ways of thought, but like once if we start getting into like, oh, Trump, it's like I zone out, man.
No, yeah, it's just we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah, another day, next time.
But yeah, like I want to settle down. I want to have my family. I want to meet my wife. You know.
Yeah.
I just want to be. I want to be that. I want to be a great dad, but I also want to be incredibly equal with like my wife, and I want it to be like I don't want to hold her back from anything, and I don't want her to like look down on me for crying at Nemo or some shit, you know? Like I just want a super like natural relationship.
Yeah.
And I was at this coffee shop. I went yesterday.
Oh, right? Okay.
I went
Hanu,
yeah, I went to Hanu, and you know I was just by myself, dude. Like, honestly, like, I haven't, like, the last time I was single I was 15. keep that in mind. That was a long ass time ago.
Oh yeah.
Right? So my mentality when it comes to being single is still set in the whole like, oh, does she think I'm cute? But it's like, it's I'm not saying it's hard to get out of that, but it's just like, it's new and I kind of like it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like there was this one girl that was sitting across from me and she was kind of cute.
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything to her. I didn't do anything just because, like, I don't know how to approach people, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm still trying to learn that. And it's a nice feeling, like, finally learning how to be on my own. And it was, like, that was, like, a win for me. Because I was just, like, I'm just so stuck in the mentality where, like, I'm not here to say, like, I need anybody. But I just, like, I was just not used to just being on my own and not being on the lookout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was super cool. I was just reading a book that my sister gave me for Christmas. It was it's called Open Veins of Latin America.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much about like all the genocide and massacres that have happened like in their politics in like the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Okay.
Like in fucking I forgot what country it was, but like there's a whole slew of countries down there that just like and are just like controlled by like American capitalism and like shipping routes and all this shit. But yeah, it was fun to read that, and I was just by myself drinking coffee, and then like midway through, like I got like really bad phlegm, so I started coughing, and I was like, great. But yeah, that's that.
I think with relationships, just my mentality is just like shifted so much because you know I'm fresh out, so
Definitely, yeah.
I'm not in the like mental state or like the emotional state to like be in a relationship. So right now I'm kind of just like I'm in friend zone, like I'm getting ready to just like be friends with everyone, whether it be like whether it goes anywhere, that's not really my intent, like I'm in it to just like talk to new people, in general.
Yeah, and it's nice to meet. Oh, sweet. It's like it's a really good feeling to start talking to new people. Like there's this when did you have anything else to say? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So let me see if I can put this up here and just kind of like get some of it. You got a call. Do you need to like?
Yeah, I'm just gonna check it just in case something happened.
Okay.
Oh no, it's fine. My cousin's just trying to hang out.
Oh, okay, for sure. Yeah, we got to be out of here by 12:20. Is that what she said?
I think it was just 12.
Oh shit, we got 20 minutes. We can wrap it up soon. Anyway, so there was this. I was taking AP Spanish in senior year, and this is only like one of the instances that I had. But like back in senior year, like I never like talked to anybody new. Really rare occasions, like such as Ryan. But for the same reason, I was just a super shy, like unconfident guy.
Yeah.
And everybody thought I was fucking weird. But which I was, but
really? I don't know. When I met you, I was like, man, this dude's too cool, dog.
Not even, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. I thought you were funny as fuck. I was like, dude, this guy's fucking awesome.
Dude, we came together because of the memes.
Honestly, memes make the world go around.
Yeah, whether you're conservative or Democrat. Yeah. We can always meet halfway in the memes. Yep. Unless it's dank memes, and you get in a gray area.
Edgy memes.
Exactly.
Edgy memes are really hard, but yeah, and so I was in AP Spanish, and then there's just like this one person that I really wanted to talk to. Yeah. And I think like the last week, I was just like, fuck it, like I'll just talk to her, dude. So like I just started talking to her like outside of the class, and we were just walking until like we split off and like met with like whatever groups, And it was cool. She's super sweet. She was telling me about like her career and everything. We were just talking about like what we were gonna do after Canyon, and that was like the last time I talked to her. I was just like, dude, like I'm just gonna reach out to people that I never got a chance to talk to. Yeah. Like just like I just as a way to like just to branch out, meet new people, not to date, but to like like as you were saying, just to get to know. Yeah. And so like I got Instagram again, and I started hitting up some old friends. Like there's this like one friend, Diana. That you remember Diana?
I think I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like a little bit short.
Yeah.
She was like friends with like Amy. I don't know if you remember Amy.
Yeah, I remember Amy.
That friend group, yeah. And yeah, so like we were kind of close friends like in Sierra Vista and stuff, and so like I like reached out to her. I reached out to this other girl who went to Saugus, and we kind of caught up, and then I was like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm just gonna reach out to this one girl from AP, and so I did, and then she like got back to me, and like now we're friends, and it's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and like a year later, like I would have never thought that like I'd be friends with her, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just like
It's crazy. I mean, like, I've reconnected with a couple of my friends, Louisa, Brianna, some other girls, some other people. You.
yeah, honestly, like we hadn't talked for a while.
Yeah.
But I think that was just because like our schedules, because like we did talk at the beginning of CSC because we'd like see each other here and there.
Yeah.
But like we didn't really do much
Yeah.
until I saw you at the skate park the other day.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. I think that's, you know, with a relationship, that's the part of my life that I was neglecting, you know? Like my friends. Like, well, not just my friends, my new friends. Because I kept a good group of like a handful of like close friends that I would always talk to, you know?
Definitely, yeah.
And that's something I didn't have, and I tried to grow that. But I think now that I'm single, I'm trying to grow my friend group in general to people just that I could talk to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like what, even when we were like kind of like close-ish, like we wouldn't text that much.
Yeah, yeah.
But then like the past couple of days we were like hitting up each other like
Constantly.
nonstop.
Yeah, dude.
Sometimes you just need that, I feel like.
It's like a lot of people stray away from that one because they're too involved with the relationship, like they're like whoever they're dating.
Yeah.
Or two, they just feel like I feel like there's like this unspoken fear that if you have a friend group and then you make new friends, that you like people just try to find ways to connect both of them, like to see like find a common ground, but like I don't feel like you need to do that. I feel like you can have friends here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
You know? But because out of like fear that you're gonna disappoint like your main group of friends that you're not hanging out with them, I don't know. But
yeah, my buddy, do you know Ruben?
yeah, he hung out with us one day,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
He's a great guy. But, you know, he was telling me about one of my friends who has a lot of friends. And he was explaining that he kind of bounces around from friend group to friend group. But, you know, as I think about that, you know, I don't see that as a bad thing, you know? Because sometimes, you know, friends fulfill different needs that you have, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and that sucks when you're in a relationship and you don't have many friends, because then you're trying to fulfill everything you have with one person, you know? But I think it's pretty good to have friends from all walks of life, you know, and not just a friend group, not just a bubble, you know?
Definitely.
Like, it's good to have, you know, friends from different politics, different races, anything, you know?
Yeah.
Just so you're not just like one-dimensional, you know?
And that's the point of this video. Don't be one-dimensional.
Don't be one-dimensional, guys.
Yeah. Because people are just gonna, if you're one-dimensional, they'll just slap you on the wall and you're just gonna be stuck to the wall. But if you're 3D, you'll fall off the wall.
You'll bounce.
You'll bounce off the wall.
Dog.
There's this one quote, and I think we'll end it off with this quote from The Rock. Let me find it. I really liked it. I liked it so much that I was taking this one class during the winter sessions.
Yeah.
It was for public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it was like one of the requirements here.
Yeah.
My whole thing was like motivation, because that was like I was like super motivated around that time of year, and like that's when like I got on this like workout program that I always wanted to get. Started working out on my own. I got a new membership, all this stuff, and it was just like a good time. And there was this one quote that I really liked that I put in, and it was like the last thing I put in for that presentation that I did. Fuck, I don't know what it was called, but it was something along the lines of when you find your back against the wall, the only thing you can do is go forward. The only direction that you can go is forward. You can't go any further back anymore. Like you can't fall behind anymore. You just gotta keep going forward. And like it sounds so simple, but like when you visualize it, it didn't make sense to me until I stood up, actually put my back against the wall, and I just imagined like all the troubles, all the anxiety, all the issues, all the everything that I was unconfident about was that wall.
Yeah.
Was behind the wall and in that wall. And I just imagined, and then I just took a step forward and I was like, dude.
I like your interpretation of that.
Right?
What I think about when you say that is like, you know, when you get cornered, you know, when life corners you, sometimes you just gotta tackle it, dog. You know?
Definitely.
Like, I think a big problem a lot of people face, and myself included, is like, you see what's wrong with you, and you acknowledge it, but you don't think about it any more than that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think what helps me is acknowledging that, you know, I'm not a perfect person. You know, I make a lot of bad choices sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think what's good for me is acknowledging that, seeing exactly what makes me uncomfortable, like people, things, ideas, and then digging into that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like facing your fears, kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's this guy named David Goggins. He was an ex-Navy SEAL.
Okay.
And that's his big thing. He's like, he said, right before like he started making the change to like try out for BUDS, which is the name for their school for Navy SEALs. He was working like he was like a bug exterminator. He would work like night shifts, like graveyard shifts, and on his way back home he would like buy like a pack of donuts and eat it on the way back on the commute home. And then one day he was just like sitting on the couch and shit, and he was just like, dude, what the fuck have I become? He was like, how many, like 200 something pounds, and he was just like, I'm done with this, like I'm gonna fucking go out and get it. And it's like, and that's like a theme that like at least I've experienced here and there, is that I'll find myself at the very bottom and something will just click. Like it's just like, dude, I'm done, like we're done, we gotta get going.
Yeah.
And it's what did you just say? You said, because I find the correlation to what I'm trying to say, and then I forget like what the correlation was.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, what you were saying?
He's talking about digging into what makes you uncomfortable.
Oh, that's right. And he said he didn't make that change until he started like reveling in everything that like made him who he was in that moment. Yeah. So like, like for him it was his abusive father, it was his family not believing in him, it was this and that. And then once he acknowledged and realized that, like how he got from point A to point really shitty B, he was like, okay, well now the steps are clearer to how I'm gonna get from B to C, like how I'm gonna become a better C, you know. And there's a lot of truth to that. People really don't want to. People are too scared to acknowledge like what faults they have.
Yeah, that's good. And that's a good place to end it.
That is a really good place to end it. So go, sit in your room, think about all the bad things you've done.
Have your back to the wall.
Back to your wall. Step forward, but until you hit another wall, and then just keep bouncing back and forth, because rooms have walls on opposite ends. Yeah, I don't know. Life's a roller coaster.
Yeah, life is a highway.
Life is a fuck, copyright strike now. All right, well, thank you guys for joining us. This is our first long form podcast. Really excited to put this out. We'll be doing a lot of more stuff very soon, I'm sure. But you guys have a good one. Stay safe.
Make good choices.
What's that one thing that Davis would say? Be good, be safe, and be wise.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.